All right, welcome everyone to College Talk Tuesdays. Today we're going to be exploring the Electrical Engineering and Computer Science program, and I would like to introduce Dr. Rachel Kate, and she's going to take us from here.
Hi, thanks, Jennifer. It's so good to be here with students in electrical engineering and computer science. I'm here to talk to you a bit today about their experiences in college and their journey to get where they are, and also some of their career aspirations for degrees in electrical engineering and computer science. Okay, and then a little bit about me. So I'm an instructor, and as I mentioned before, EECS, and that stands for Electrical Engineering and Computer Science at Oregon State University. Oregon State University School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science that has two programs, one in electrical engineering, the other one's in computer science. They're two of the leading programs in the United States. Students in our programs have the opportunity to work with professors, and these professors do research. They've collected $12.9 million worth of research dollars just in 2019-2020 alone. So they're doing important research, not just for the state of Oregon, but for the United States and the world in these fields. The undergraduate students that are in our program help to create software programs to aid with the global health crisis. They innovate life-saving health devices like heart monitors. So undergraduate students do this. They build clean energy systems. They power global Formula Racing race cars, driverless race cars. They launch rockets. They partner with companies like Tesla, Intel, Garmin. These are just to name a few of the ongoing projects. The upper level students, the juniors and seniors right now are preparing to be leaders in engineering and computer science in the industries. And the students that have joined us here today, we welcome them and thank them very much because they're here to talk to you about some of those exciting projects that they're doing and give you advice that they have to help you pursue your interest in either electrical engineering or computer science. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and have each one of our students introduce themselves. We'll just go through our list and each will tell their name and their area of study. And also please mention if you went to an Oregon high school. I think that's a fun thing for the extension students to know about. What Oregon high school did you go to? Okay, so I'll just call on you as I see you in my my matrix of Zoom faces, right? So Spencer, looks like you're first. Could you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Spencer. I'm electrical computer engineer focusing in robotics, and I went to Newburgh High School.
Great, thanks, Spencer. And I'll move on. I'll just go through those who have videos, and if you don't have your video and you decide to show your video, I will call on you next. So next is Tyler Titsworth.
Hi there, my name's Tyler. I'm a fifth-year student in applied computer science. I focus on machine architecture and a little bit machine learning, and I went to Rex Putnam High School in Milwaukee.
My name is Kristen. I'm an electrical and computer engineering student who's focusing in signal processing, and I went to Crescent Valley High School here in Corvallis.
Hello, my name is Samuel Villegas. I am a computer science student focusing on embedded systems.
I am a ECE student. It's my fourth year, and I come from McNary High School, which is in Kaiser, Oregon.
Hi, my name is Ben. I'm an electrical and computer engineering student. I'm one of the few of us that's actually focused on more of the computer engineering side. So I'm actually also doing, my focus is more embedded systems as well and coding for them. And I went to Oregon City High School.
Hi, my name is Kathleen. I'm an electrical and computer engineer major. I'm focusing on signals and systems communications. And then I graduated from Cascade High School, which is out in Bonsville.
I am a computer science major. I'm a senior. I went to school in the Beaverton School District. I was in one of the magnet schools, the School of Science and Technology.
Hi, yeah, my name is Thomas. I'm a fifth year here studying computer science with minors in finance as well as entrepreneurship. So basically, I just want to be the next Elon Musk, but I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So that's why I'm still here. I'm originally from Dana Point, California, so I didn't go to school in Oregon. But yeah, go Beavs.
All right, my name is Jack Larson. I'm an electrical engineering major who is also doing a minor in finance. And I have an electrical engineering focus in embedded systems, and I graduated from Marshfield High School in Coos Bay, Oregon.
Hi, I'm Ethan Ward, and I'm an electrical and computer engineer focusing in electromagnetics, and I went to Willamette High School in Eugene.
Awesome, thanks. And Kiana.
Hi, I'm Kiana. I'm a computer science student with a focus in data science. I went to North Eugene High School in Eugene, and I was in the IDEAS sub-school back when it was split into 3 schools.
Now we'll go ahead and start out with our list of questions. Great. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go back to my gallery view. And I'll just call on you to answer these questions. The first group, I'll call on you in groups of 3. I want to call on is Kiana, Jesus, and Ben. Okay, so this first question is for you. And the question is, could you please tell us a story of how you became an engineering or computer science major? And whichever one of you wants to go first, just go ahead.
Sure thing. So I became a computer science major in a strange way because I had actually started out as a biological engineering major at Oregon State, and I studied that for just over 3 years. And I realized that a lot of where these jobs were going to take me were in factories, which would end me up in a rural area or a small town. And even before coronavirus started, I'd been thinking about maybe wanting to work from home at some point. And so I thought about like what kind of jobs I would want. And I remembered this coding class that I had taken about MATLAB like about 2 years prior. And I was like, well, why don't I try out computer science? And I just loved it. It was really more focused about design for me. And so I started over, and now I'm in my 4th year of computer science.
Yeah, so my name is Jesus, and basically how I became an EECS student was originally when I first applied to Oregon State, I applied for an accounting degree, but my teachers and my parents and my siblings all told me that I was very strong in like mathematics and physics and science, that I should try to go for a field in that sort of area. And originally I thought, I do like math and I do like science and all, but I think I've had enough. But when I first decided to change my mind, and I took the first class here for EECS, I kind of really liked it. It was challenging, and it wasn't too overbearing. But I really enjoyed the challenge as opposed to like doing something I was very comfortable with doing, just simple calculations with accounting.
Yeah, so I actually came to college thinking that I wanted to be a bio major. I thought I wanted to be a doctor and realized very quickly that that was not the path for me. Memorization is not my strong point, and I can't focus long enough just to memorize lists of, body parts and different things like that. I actually have to be kind of hands-on doing something. So that's what really appealed to me about the electrical and computer engineering, is that you're not just learning things rote like memorization. You're actually learning processes, and really in the coding side of things, which is what I really enjoy, is you actually have to be creative about it. And so that just really appealed to me. I took my first it was just an intro to computer science class and learned some Java, and realized I really liked that the problem solving process that happens in engineering professions or engineering degrees. That's not so much memorizing, here's this list of things and here's what they do. It's more of, okay, here's a process, here's a process, here's a process. Figure out how to put these three things together to solve this big problem, instead of just, oh, here's the problem, here's the solution. So really, I became an engineer just because I really liked that problem solving process and being creative with the tools that you have to come to that final solution.
Great, thanks, Ben. This next question is going to be for Dustin, Samuel, and Ethan. So again, popcorn style from Dustin, Samuel, and Ethan. What is most interesting to you about engineering or computer science?
For me, it is really about the problem solving. I like computer science because it's more of an engineering reason. We're sort of you're given a problem, someone that doesn't have a solution right now, and your task is to then design it and figure. All right, excuse me. Yeah, so your task is to design the solution and then implement it yourself. You're going to have requirements that you have to follow, but a lot of the creativity and research and intellectual work is on you. You get to be the person in charge of figuring out how it's going to be solved. I really like the problem solving, organizational skills, and logistics behind trying to get from having a problem to having a working solution.
Yeah, same for me. Again, the problem solving theme, I think for many of us is kind of very interesting for us. Personally, I also like the idea of different systems working together and how those interact, and being able to look at designs and turn those into functioning systems, and being able to use different like tools and techniques to optimize problems and to figure out solutions.
Yeah, for me, the most interesting part about engineering is it's very applied. I guess this kind of relates to high school students more, but you're usually going to class and when will I apply this? In engineering, you take all these concepts from your core physics classes and your math, and you put it all together and you're actually using it, and it actually has a purpose. So, and then kind of to add on what Dustin and Samuel said, was the problem solving aspect is very fun. It's filling in this big puzzle and trying to figure out the little bits and parts that make the big picture.
All right, fun stuff. Thank you, everybody. Our next people that are going to answer a couple questions, next pair is just going to be two. It's going to be Kathleen and Spencer. So if you could answer number 4, what kinds of career options do you have when you graduate?
I guess I'll go first and then Spencer. So because of COVID, before the summer, the beginning of this year, I guess, so last summer, I was offered an internship at a lumber company out in Medford area, I think. And so because of that, because of COVID, I wasn't able to attend that internship this summer. So they still have that offer for me when I graduate. So if I am still willing, I can still go to that internship. But I've also been looking at full-time positions because I will be graduating this spring. And so I'm hoping I'm gonna have a interview down in the Dallas area with Lighthouse, and they are a company that creates air filters, like air filtration where it's clean enough where they can have surgery. And so they work a lot with hospitals, and their product is a lot in hospitals. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm hoping to work there when I graduate. I think what is really interesting is that about computer and engineering fields is that you can go anywhere. Like after you graduate, you are able to work anywhere and you can work with different systems. So in my internship that was offered, I'd be working with big machinery for lumber, like for to process their lumber. But if I get this offer in Medford, I mean in Dallas with the lighthouse, then I'd be working with more intricate and technique like valued processing with the air filters. And so I think that is just really good career field, because you can be working with like the whole spectrum of a lot of things. And so that's where I will be going hopefully when I graduate.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on what Kathleen said about the world's our oyster. Like we have so many options, especially being an ECE student or even a CS student. Just that you have a 4-year degree in a field in this tech field, you can go anywhere. And like the last 2 years of our, at least for ECE, we get to hone what we want to do. We get to really focus on what we want to do. And that can take you anywhere. You could get hired as an ECE to do a CS job, to do a mechanical engineering job. You can get hired to do anything you want to do. Really, in the last 2 years, you get to also like you don't have to know what you want to do, but it helps if you have an idea and you get to hone in on where you get to go. Right now, because I want to do robotics, I'm gonna try to go back to school, and I'm applying for grad schools right now to actually get a robotics degree, because there's no 4-year robotics degrees. But I could stop and I could decide to do, I could try to get a gig as a front-end web developer. I know a lot of CS people do that. Like that is a huge career field and a safe fallback. And yeah, like and ECE and CS degrees are top 10 4-year degrees with the highest base salary coming out. There's a lot of options. Not so much on the West Coast in Oregon and Washington, there's a lot of opportunities for us here. Definitely out in the East Coast as well. Internationally, there's tech people are in demand, but yeah, so you can work a lot of places as well. And yeah, I hope I've done justice to answer this question.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathleen and Spencer, and also for being on your toes, since I called question number 4 and skipped over number 3. Apologies for that. Luckily, they're in no particular order. So for question number 3, we will have Jack and Kristen telling us about projects they've done or are currently working on.
I'll start off with this one. So I'm a senior, so I'm currently in our senior design class, which for ECE students is a 3-term class. So all year you're working on a project in a team. So what my team is working on is we're reading EEG signals, which are brain waves. And so we're analyzing those brain waves to try to predict hand movement. So this is a research project, so we're not expecting to have like a functioning product at the end of it. But like way down the line, the goal of this type of research is to have prosthetics that you can control with your brain. So you can think about moving your hand and your prosthetic would be able to move. So that's a really cool project that I'm working on right now for signal processing.
I'm also a senior this year, so I'm in our senior capstone class, and our team is working on a sensor device that will be used by fighter pilots. And what this device is going to do, it's going to read pulse and blood oximetry data to basically ensure that they are not in any sort of critical state. And the idea is that if they go into some sort of critical state medically, the autopilot will automatically kick on. So if they fall unconscious or something like that, the autopilot will take over and save the pilot's life. So really exciting project. I'm really looking forward to making progress on it, especially next term. So I'm really excited to see how it turns out for us.
Thank you so much. All right, and then our last question will be for Thomas and Tyler. If you could go back and give your high school self some advice for how to prepare for engineering or computer science college, what would that advice be? And just a note while you're thinking about that, after that, we'll have some time to open it up to anybody who wants to go back and answer any of the questions you didn't get to answer, okay? But this one is for Tyler and Thomas.
Yeah, so for me, it was really interesting coming from high school because I never thought high school was like incredibly hard. And then I got to college and I was like, holy crap. Like college is definitely a completely different beast. So I currently work in the admissions office, and for a lot of students coming through, it's definitely really interesting for them to kind of get that first experience moving away from home for the first time. And I definitely felt that coming into an engineering program. I actually didn't even start in engineering. I was a chem major and I had pre-admit to the farm school. So I was going to go be a pharmacist. But then kind of getting through and figuring out exactly what I wanted to do and how to form that would probably be the biggest advice I would give, is just figure out what you like and what you're good at, because you'll definitely find something that will hopefully pay you someday.
So for context, when I was in high school, if you had come and told me, hey, you're going to end up in computer science, I wouldn't have been terribly surprised. But at the time, I was a full-time music student, so I would probably say, yeah, sure, whatever. Because I was just an oboist who went to competitions, did auditions. I was top 3 in the state and doing all sorts of events like that. And that's what I was spending all my time doing. I was taking some high-level courses, but I wasn't taking any engineering. And so I didn't even know how to code until I started my freshman year. And so some self-advice that I probably would have given to myself was start coding yesterday, because the stuff that you did in music, while it is valuable to you right now, it may not be as valuable in the future, at least to the extent that I was doing it.
All right, thanks, Tyler, and thanks, everybody. And now for the next few minutes, I'll just open it up and open the floor for anybody who sees a question you would like to answer that you didn't get to.
I'd like to speak to question 5, the one about giving advice. So one thing that was a little bit surprising to me, though it probably shouldn't have been, was how much writing there is in college. If I were to give any advice at this point, I would say to, if you have any ability to choose what classes you're taking, I would try to get as much out of any writing courses as you possibly can. You will get writing courses in college, but it always helps to have a little bit of a leg up on this. It kind of switches gears in college from talking about from just simply regurgitating the facts that you've done or the research you found, to actually really truly analyzing different topics and summing them up persuasively. So it really shifts gears, and the more writing background you can have, the better.
I wanted to take question 4 real quick. So as far as career options when graduating, one of the things that I really tried to hone down was having a broad reach, but also very specific centers. So what I mean by that is I'm focusing in machine architecture, which is mostly lower level programming. So very base portions of embedded systems or coding operating systems. But at the same time, I'm working in IT, which is about as far away from that as you can get. And so a part of my actual career options is 2 different spectrums. I could either take any reasonable CN backend or front-end job, but at the same time, I could also, I'm going to graduate with about 5 years experience in IT, which lets me pave the way for any system administration position, as well as any position working as a backend engineer with Microsoft.
I'll go ahead and take that fifth question, and it'll kind of indirectly answer the first one as well. I'd say the first, as far as advice to my high school self, I would say that keeping your options open is really important. When I came to Oregon State, I didn't necessarily think I'd end up in ECE. And then after one term, I decided to switch. And I don't even really remember the reason why, but, don't be afraid to, be open-minded, especially in those first couple terms of school. Another thing I wanted to say was, don't be afraid to get involved in student organizations outside of the scope of engineering. It's a really great way for you to sort of diversify your resume and learn a lot of skills that your peers won't necessarily have if they don't do the same thing. And that's going to make you look like a really versatile job candidate moving forward after you graduate. So I don't know, I'd say that's probably the most important thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off of what Jack said a little bit. On number 5 and number 1, I was so I'm born and raised in Oregon. I transferred to OSU after 2 years at Chemeketa Community College. And so I think my story is kind of unique that way, as in I wasn't from Oregon State, and I came in halfway through, and a lot of people have already met and made friends. And so kind of piggyback off of what Jack said is that a good advice I'd want to give to the high school students or my high school self is don't be afraid to just open up to others. It's really, right when I got to OSU, everyone there is really friendly, and joining student organizations, like Jack said, is really important as an outlet and just to keep you sane. I think a lot of other students are in the same boat as you, so it's just good to reach out to everybody so that we're all kind of struggling together, and so I think that's what advice I'd like to give to high school students is just don't be afraid to reach out to others.
That was actually a perfect segue into mine, because I was going to talk about sort of a 5 and 3 combo to don't ignore the community colleges around you. I have been taking classes at Oregon State for a long time, but I decided that I would do some of my back core at the Lynn Benton Community College, just because I wanted that smaller class size. You get a more intimate learning setting that I feel you get to meet your teachers and classmates a little bit more. And I felt like I got just as good of an education there as Oregon State, but it also introduced me to an opportunity to work on the Lynn Benton's remote operated vehicle underwater team. And through them, we actually went to an international competition in Tennessee and placed 18th in the world. And I would have never been able to do that if I hadn't gone to community college as well as my regular university.
So that also kind of relates to my experience. However, I'm on the opposite end. I actually started out at a little private college up in Washington that was kind of crazy expensive and racked up a lot of student debt because of that. However, I transferred from there to Oregon State, and so it's just kind of that relation between how much you're paying and how good of an education that you're getting. I am getting so much more out of my classes at Oregon State than I did at the little private school up in Washington. And I'm sure that it's the same way as Kiana. I'm sorry, whoever just.
Yeah, Kiana, you got it, definitely.
Was just talking about the community college. It's really all about your professors and really how much you put into it. It's not so much about, oh, this college is better because it costs more. Like I said, the Oregon State is I wish I would have gone here first, basically. Like I'm getting way better education, and it's literally a quarter of the cost of what I was paying before. And so just really I guess my advice to myself back in high school would be to look into the options more, look into what students are doing after they graduate, as well as just getting to know some of the professors ahead of time. I know professors here are pretty dang willing to reach out to people. So if you reach out to them, it's pretty easy to get to know them.
I would like to speak to question 3. So for my senior design class, my team is working on the avionics for one of the rockets at OSU. And I actually have one of the avionics bays here. It's part of an avionics bay. So we actually get to program the code that controls like we have a multi-stage rocket. So there's like stage separation and then controlling when the parachutes open up. So I know about you, but rockets are pretty cool.
Number 5, 3 things: believe in yourself, don't stop, and oh gosh, the third one: believe in yourself, don't stop, and 2, just believe in yourself and don't stop. I spent 5 years. 3, take advantage of your communities. Portland Community College. I spent 5 years there. I never thought I was going to be. I always told myself I wasn't smart enough to be an electrical engineer. Don't do that. The career path, EECS, CS, they'll take care of you. You'll have a great life with a 4-year degree.
Thanks for that, Spencer. And thanks to everybody for being here and being willing to share your pearls of wisdom, your experience. It's wonderful for high school students to be able to see, what you've done, to hear from you. And that kind of leads into my next closing statement, that I wanted to let you know about some ongoing opportunities after this is over. There is a survey link that I believe Jennifer will drop into the chat for you as well. So you can access it there, and then it'll be posted along with this video so that you can access it on the website also. And the survey is to find out if you are interested in a couple of ongoing opportunities. These opportunities are listed on the survey. And let's see, and sorry about that. I'm going to turn on my video too. There we go. So these opportunities are listed on the survey. One of them is a pen pal program where as high school students, you'd be able to write messages or letters to our group of EECS college students. And then they would receive your letters and answer your letters via letter form and any questions that you have. And that could be an ongoing sort of pen pal relationship. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. And then the second one is more conversational meetup type Zoom meetings that we are planning to organize a few times throughout each season, so that if you want to, you can go to a Zoom room and meet up with EECS students and have more casual conversations, get your questions answered regarding your college path, your career path, and where you would like to end up. If you would like to go to OSU, for example, I could talk about that. So yeah, we are hoping that you'll have some interest in some of these opportunities. It's wonderful to be able to connect you as high school students with our OSU EECS students. On both sides, you are benefiting from the chance to connect and learn from each other. So I just want to thank everybody once again. And the last thing I'll mention is that you can feel free to contact me. I can connect you with an advisor too if you have questions about registering for the program or what kinds of classes we have. But I'm happy to be your point of contact, the first person that you connect with, and I can get you situated with the information that you need. So please feel free to email me, and I'm really happy to give you advice or talk to you about coming to join us in EECS or at OSU. Thanks, everybody.